you're quite right, and I think there is the discipline of doing scientific research, and your fluke result is actually not correct. You've got to be able to do it, and you've got to be able to reproduce what you've done. Otherwise, it's something that's you've not noted down or something like that you haven't taken into account when you've done the experiment. So I think reproducibility and being able to reproduce what you've done and seen is very important. I mean, we see that time and time again, that that's important, that you do that. But I think it's getting people to understand what we mean by doing a scientific experiment and what the whole discipline of doing science in the lab is all about. But you have to collect the data, and you have to make sure your data is correct and it's robust and it's reproducible. When people talk about Watson and Crick and finding out the structure of DNA, or Turing building his machine, we just get to see that bit of it. Sometimes you see some of the work they put into getting to that place, but it would be very boring if you were to do the play or the film of it and you were to do it in real time. I mean, that would be really quite tedious. I mean, so of course you'd home in on the exciting bits, and people seem to think that great scientists just go into the lab one day and they do it there and then on the spot and everything works out. It's not like, I have never ever come across any scientist that they've done that. There's been years of toil and struggle and doing repetitive experiments and changing another little thing to see whether that works or whether it doesn't work, and speaking to colleagues and exchanging ideas. There's lots goes into getting a success, any success. What I would love in everybody is to be open-minded, so not to go in with any terribly fixed point of view, and to be open and to want to challenge yourself, want to consider different interpretations of what it is what data may be being shown to you, what you can infer from it, how you can take it forward. That's really, I find working with people who are very closed or have a very predetermined idea of how it's going to work out, I find those type of people the most difficult to work with. Because I don't feel you're then open to other things that might be going on. So I think what's very exciting for me just now in science and engineering is the way that we're working much more closely with social scientists, for example, with the medics, for example, and looking to see how they operate, how they work, how they interpret their data, and being able to take ideas from across the whole spectrum. So I don't think there's anything about being from the humanities or being from the science background that necessarily makes you, I don't think our brains are wired any differently. I just think it's how we can take ideas from all different disciplines and bring them together and take the best out of everything and bring it together. That's personally what I think, and that's what I find exciting at the moment.